Hello everybody, Mark Antimate here with another episode of Running in Japan. I gotta hurry up and get this run done. This is a recovery run that I'm doing today, only 45 minutes. But to get right into it, I need to hurry up because the time now is 6:42. Sundown is happening. Today is probably the most windiest day and time that I've ever decided to go on a run. And it's getting ready to rain right now. So to be out here with this non-waterproof DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is no good. I at least need to be near home where I could just kind of chuck this inside of my mailbox super quick in case it starts to rain. But you guys saw the title of the video. As I'm making this video, I don't know what I'm going to title it at this point in time. But you guys do see the title of the video, so you got an idea what I'm going to talk about. I was looking at a video from Yowana 3 days ago. It was a really good one, and he touched on a topic that opened up a Pandora's box. He was talking about running companies giving away the freebies to people, but he didn't necessarily talk about the runners that are receiving these freebies, and he didn't name them. I'm not sure if I'm going to name them or not, but the title of this video, I got my phone right here. So I'm double fisting it right now. DJI Osmo Pocket in one hand, smartphone in the other. His video was titled, "The 5 Worst Shoes of 2025. He was pretty much saying nobody ever gives bad reviews on YouTube. It was a lot deeper than that. You don't even need to watch the whole video. You just need to watch the first 4 minutes, exactly the first 4 minutes of that video, and you'll get the story, the gist of it, and everything I'm going to be talking about inside of this video. So, like I said, he didn't name names of ShoeTubers, running shoe reviewers on YouTube, but once you go down to his comment section, they'll say, "Thank you for talking about this topic." And then they, meaning his followers, his subscribers, start talking about this stuff. Because frankly, they're kind of sick and tired of a lot of these ShoeTubers. So, let me read one of these comments with this freaking bouncing phone inside of my hand. One guy, I could barely read the name, it's too small while I'm running, but I can read what he says. He says, "There are too many ShoeTubers who are afraid to critique shoes or what shoe companies do since they're paid by them to promote stuff. Keep doing this occasionally to keep the competition between the companies real. Just heard one ShoeTuber say that version 3 of a trail shoe lost its fun ride, and then the same sentence backtrack and say, if you like the first 2 versions, you'll like this one." And then he says, "WTF." He was the first good comment. And then there was a lot of good comments that replied to him, including me. The first reply that guy had, somebody said, "Yeah, too many X brand send me this shoe, but they don't control what I say. This is 100% my opinion, BS reviewers." So he's talking about the people that review shoes, and they leave these disclaimers at the front of the video saying that the company has no control over what they say, but they're very light on the critique.
But before I give you my thoughts on this shoe, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that ASICS sent to me for the purpose of review, so I did not have to pay for these shoes. However, nobody's paying me to make this video or to include their brand in this video, and no one's going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So,
and it's very obvious that these guys are paid up with. So Of course, they're not going to leave a bad review because they want to continue to get stuff inside the future for free. So they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. And that's what I want to talk about inside this video. But still continuing on with this first reply set, he says, they probably don't get paid, but they have an incentive to stay on the good side of the company, so they keep sending them shoes and inviting them to events. It's actually lame they do that in exchange for a few freebies. It's not even actual money. And then there's a whole lot of other good replies inside of there. And then I chimed in somewhere inside of there and I said, I'm about to make a whole video calling out these guys. I'm not going to be brash about it, but they gotten too big for their own britches by lying, I feel. I may have some decorum and not call them out by name, but you'll know who I'm talking about. And then I said, the only people I trust are Ben Parks, Yowana, and myself. Not to blow smoke up my own butt. I'm just saying I got integrity, even with how small of a YouTuber I am. Others I may watch just to get visuals of a shoe for entertainment, but I'd never buy a shoe based on their word. So that's what I said as a reply. And then inside of my notepad, I wrote a bunch of notes about what I'd like to touch on inside of this video. Come on, man, where's this notepad at? All right, I got my notes open. Yep. So, the first thing, I think there's way too many disclaimers at the beginning of videos saying that this brand was sent to me by whoever. I agree with that first reply that guy got. Because we know that doesn't mean that you're going to give an honest review or an honest opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to give an honest review or honest opinion or objective opinion is what I want to say. You know, people say anything just to stay inside the good graces of a company. Like, you know, who wants to bite the hand that feeds them? Sure, they might say, oh, you know, I found the shoelaces to be kind of wimpy, or, you know, they'll give something like a cop-out critique that's like, that kind of makes it seem like they're trying to be objective, but they're really not. It's more of a facade just to pretend like you're being harsh. But when in reality, we hear the objective opinion and it's not really all that objective at all. So, yeah, man, what's up with that? What is up with that? Like, I feel, let me just put the notes away for now and just talk off the cuff. It'll be a lot better than me looking at this thing. You know, if you get shoes sent to you by somebody, why even call it a review at all? Because even subliminally, you maybe, even if you want to be objective, maybe you can't, because deep down inside, you know that they might come back to bite you. So even without thinking about it, you're going light. You're going light on them. So what I was gonna say is, if you're gonna get sent shoes by somebody, show them on the channel, give all the statistics about the shoe, you know, the things that are more or less facts about how the shoe is made, the kind of materials that are inside the shoe, the weight of the shoe, the kind of stuff that can't really be refuted. But once you start to throw your opinion inside of there, I mean, everything just kind of goes out the window. I look at it with a screw face and wondering if I could trust this. You know, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for even making this video and even talking about it, because I can imagine right now, down inside the comment sections, you guys are just gonna go off about me defending your favorite ShoeTuber and saying, who am I? I ain't nobody but just some guy with 1,000 subscribers. I have no following, nobody cares about me. I don't know, maybe you say I'm black, I'm ugly, nobody cares about me, I'm slow, I have no accomplishments inside this running game, which is all true. I don't care, say what you want. The one thing that you can't say about me is that I don't have integrity, because that's the one thing that I do got, and it can't be refuted. Nobody could ever take that away from me. So at least I can pride myself on that, on this channel. And if anybody is gonna follow me, that would be the number one reason why you do. It's because you know that everything that I say is 100% me, and I haven't been bought out. But yeah, a lot of these other guys, I still do watch them, but I take a lot of things that they're saying with a carton of salt. More or less, I tune into these channels because I either like the personality of the person, or because they do get the shoe early, and I just want to see what it looks like, and I want to get the statistics about it, you know. Just see what I'm looking at before this thing comes out, to see if I have any inkling of interest in maybe wanting to pick it up, just based on the statistics and things like that. But to say the least, I can't say that these guys are helping to give me some type of informed decision on whether I do or don't want to pick up a pair of shoes. That's why I look at channels like Ben Parks, because I know that he's going to give me an honest review, and he does help me to make informed purchasing decisions. You guys may be wondering why I don't review a whole lot of bad shoes, like really bad shoes on this channel. And it's because before I buy them, at least most of them, I do go over to Ben Parks' channel and I listen to what he has to say. And if he seems to be very impressed with the shoe, then I would go out and buy it. I ended up buying both of my Vomeros, the 17 and the 18, the Super Blast 2, Nova Blast 4, Nova Blast 5. I got into all these shoes and loving them based on watching his reviews. You know, he turned me on to game, and I said, okay, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna take his word at face value because it's a trustable word, and I'm gonna go out and buy this shoe. And I made that informed decision to do that, and when I did do it, I was pleasantly surprised that they were good shoes. So he put me on the game. There have been some bad shoes that I reviewed on the channel. I didn't really like the Gel Cayano 31 all that much. They weren't bad, they weren't good. They were just so shoes. And I bought those shoes not based on Ben Parks' opinion, just as more or less, I'm just trying to try everything inside the ASICS lineup. So I'm going through their shoes, whether they be good or bad, just to try to complete the ASICS 2025 shoe repertoire and reviews myself. A shoe that I absolutely hated well, I was pretty much one of the only people to review it on YouTube. Not the only one, but one of the only ones. Was the Nike Rival Fly 4. I ran in those shoes about a good 3 or 4 times. I don't like the way they land. I don't like how firm they are. No cushioning. Hurt my feet. You know, I had to get rid of those things super fast. And that's actually one of my most watched reviews. And people, a lot of poor people from poor nations left comments on that video in particular, asking me would I get these shoes. And I keep replying to every single one of these people, no, I can't recommend it because I don't like them for such and such reason, or there's better shoes out there that you can get if you just lay down a little bit more money. Why don't you just save up just a little bit more, just put down this much more, and then you can get these shoes that are leagues better than this Rival Fly 4. People, they be wanting me to give them a good opinion about these shoes so that they would feel like they could go out and get them and their purchase is going to be justified. But I do exactly the opposite of what they want me to do. They want me to give it a good review, but I just can't because those shoes suck. So I just say, no, don't get them. Get this instead. And that's the way it is. And I think ultimately, once they read my reply, they're not going to be satisfied with it in the moment, but they'll be satisfied with me in the long run because I was one of the people to tell them the truth that these are not worth your money. So I think that's really good. Those are the kind of reviews that are going to build trust between me and my viewers, whether you're a subscriber or not. Have I ran in shoes as bad as the Rival Fly 4 yet? Not really. I mean, I don't go out of my way to buy bad shoes, man. I try not to. I'm paying for these things, all of these shoes, with my own money. It would not be good for me to buy a pair of bad shoes because it's so hard for me to get out of these things once I have shoes inside of my possession. Even if I have fairly good shoes inside of my possession, but I feel like they're just not for me. For example, the Nova Blast 4. I feel that would be good for some people, but they were not made for me. But because they were good enough shoes, they were kind of easier for me to get out of, but it's still not easy getting out of a pair of shoes that you paid money for. Because once you sell them off to the next person, you're definitely not getting what you paid for them. Or because I did 20 kilometers inside a Nova Blast 4, for example. It's not as if I'm deducting 20 kilometers worth of monetary value out of the shoes when I resell it, and I'm making back pretty much what I paid for them minus those 20 kilometers. No, I'm losing a lot more money than that. I have to pay for the mailing costs. People, because I've already had them on my feet, people want more of a discount than that. So I try to get what I can for them, but I'm not getting back 100% or whatnot of what I put into them. So, to say the least, I try not to get into bad shoes from the get-go. I try to avoid that. I try to review shoes that pretty much have a buzz about them, or they have aggravated assault. They have aggregated good reviews about them from the trustworthy people that I follow, subscribe to on YouTube, and I say, okay, all of these guys, this whole circle of people that I really trust, they gave these shoes a good review, so that gives me a lot of trust to go out there and buy these shoes to review them. Case in point, Adidas Evo SL was not, they were not the greatest thing since sliced bread. They were really, really, really good shoes. They were fun, extremely fun to run in. Just with my running style, my running gait, they absolutely destroyed my legs, destroyed my shins when I ran in those shoes. I understand that not everything is for all people. Those shoes were not made for me. Were they made for most people? I don't know. But most people said that generally they were really good shoes. Not the best shoes. They said that they were really good shoes. And based on the strength of how well they were talked about, I bought those shoes and I did thoroughly enjoy them for the limited amount of time that I ran inside of them. And then I passed them on to the next person. And I almost made back all the money that I did pay for those shoes, if not did, because those shoes were such in demand here in Tokyo, Japan, that even with me running inside of them, I was able to sell those off for more money than what I had paid for them, and people were gladly willing to fork over that money. So I made back my money in full on that, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to try them. But I bought those shoes initially with the intention that hopefully I was gonna love them and I was gonna keep these shoes forever until the wheels fell off. That's always my intention. Anyways, let's bring this whole thing back home. Let's bring it back home, because I do love to go off on my tangents. People don't critique hard enough on YouTube, and we, the viewer, we can see through the facade. We know that you are paid up with these companies and you're getting all this free stuff and, you know, getting flown out to all these events and stuff. We know that we can't look to you for an objective opinion, a real hard objective opinion, a serious one, you know? So we just know that we can't trust you with these things. All right, guys, you're probably wondering what's happened to me. How did I manage to change my sunglasses? Well, the SD card had filled up yesterday, and the last 2 minutes of me finishing up this video and giving my closing thoughts. So unfortunately, I had to charge it up, wait 24 hours for me to come out here again. It's the next day. Yes, I am wearing the same running clothes, albeit now you guys see me with sunglasses on. But yeah, it's 24 hours later. So this is what I was trying to say in closing. It's one thing to get free apparel and just show it off on the channel because style is subjective. You can say that it's not about performance and someone can look at it and either go, that's fly, I want to pick that up, or that's ugly, I'm not gonna get that at all, or I want to stay away from that because it's not so appealing looking. But once you do a so-called shoe review, whether you may or may not be aware that your incentivized review is biased, all I gotta say is an opinion without impartiality is dead to me. And because research has shown that you're more likely to leave a positive review, the brands know that, which is why they give you the shoes specifically to review. They can always count on you to never really sell them out when they're trying to make a sell. So ultimately they depend on you and they're gonna keep giving you these shoes, and you know, none the wiser you're gonna keep taking them, not knowing that even inside the back of your mind, you may feel like you're not giving a biased review, but you really are. All right, so I think I'll close it out there. To all you impartial reviewers out there with integrity, Ben Park, Yowana, the inconsequential runner, the young cross-country and track and field runners that I started watching recently, keep doing what you're doing because you guys, you're a dime. I'll probably make more enemies more or less with this review. More enemies than friends, but you know, that's okay. End of the day, good reviewer, bad reviewer, I don't idolize anyone that's on this platform, and I just want to say God bless you anyways. I'm out. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.